I'm Desiree Patno. I'm the CEO and President of the Women in Housing Real Estate Ecosystem. A little background about myself. I've sold over 6,000 properties myself in the past 30 years. I got my license in 1990. I did Fortune, come on in. I did Fortune 100 relocation for many years when you did not have this beautiful instrument called a smartphone. You had to do everything up here. Everything had to be memorized, from where we're going to take them to daycare, where we're going to take them for, for medical, for everything that had to do with the school systems, the infrastructure, what was going on in the community, and everything else, how that works. So thank you very much. And that whole idea was to make sure that at the end of the day, that you knew your clients. Yes, quiet. Shh. And the opportunity is that it was all memorized, and you knew your product inside out versus in Googling everything you do. So I ask everyone at the beginning of the class, I say, okay, this is where the mindset's going to go today. If you were to be stranded on an island, would you be rather stranded with a 20-year-old or a 50-year-old? 50. How many say 20?
Shame on you.
How many say 50? I'm 58 and 4 boys. The reason I say 50 and older is we had to learn everything and retain everything. I memorized almost every single thing that I've ever done in my life, what I've said to everyone, and where I've been, and what I've read. I have a photographic memory. What I don't remember is your name. I still can't remember my 4 boys' names in the order of how they were born, unless I really think about it, go through it. It's a problem with, hey you, would you? Oh, yeah. So the idea is that if you didn't have electricity, the 20-year-old's going to Google it, and Google's not going to work.
Can we shut the door?
Absolutely. So, we are a trade for women in the housing real estate ecosystem, is a leading voice for women focused on advancing gender equality, raising the utilization of women-owned businesses, and providing women the tools for economic security, stability, and sanctuary. How many of you ever thought of buying a home, but you've never dreamed about it? If you don't dream about it, how can you invoke it? We're not just for women anymore, we now include men. Because if we don't have men to support the system, it goes. So I was the only woman in 1971 in all of Southern California that played water polo. It's now an Olympic sport for women. And you want to talk about a physical sport?
Oh yeah.
Imagine being the only woman on the team, what everyone thought they could do. We provide one of the most thorough resources for women in housing, a wide range of topics, from family issues, from poverty, homeownership, all the way to C-suite, which is your CEO, COO, CMO, go down the list, and family offices, which we heard just a few minutes ago. Family offices are your private wealth, and you don't get to know a whole lot about them because they're internal, the external stuff that gets done. So what we want to do is, again, real quickly, I spoke at the United Nations 2 years ago. I've spoken at several diversity and inclusion summits. Also, I've been voted the #1 real estate influencer follow last year. Okay, all great. And I was also voted the SBA champion for women-owned businesses on how to succeed and be sustainable. Our organization sits on the SBA's national platform of only 9 trades as a resource partner. So when we talk about business, imagine buying a home and trying to leverage your home as a business, because at today's price point in Orange County, at $500,000 above, if you could weather the storm, then you should be thinking that it's a business ownership of owning that property, because you have to go through logistics of repairs, of infrastructure, how you're doing what you're doing with management of that business, and to remove the word personal, okay? So what I want to do real quickly is I want to ask you a couple questions. I want to pulse the audience. How many of you are a real estate agent? Okay. How many of you are a homeowner or a home seller? Wow, all right. How many want to learn how to make a business out of your home? Excellent. How do you want to learn how to make a, are you looking to buy a home under your business umbrella? Want to play into that, okay? And are you affiliated with a vendor? Meaning, are you affiliated with a tier 2 company that actually does work for you, or vice versa? Meaning a corporation that's above you and a corporation that's below you, depending, that you can actually do more work as a business owner. Okay? How many of you need access to capital, whether you own a business or buying a home? I have a little less. Okay, cool. So you want me to cover the whole gamut, so be prepared. The cool thing is this is being videotaped. It'll be live on, it'll be posted to our website, so you don't have to take notes and go crazy, but if I talk very fast, I apologize up front because I do talk very fast, so we can cover the subject matter, so it'll be out there. Okay, so I'm going to skip through slides depending on what's out there. So women homeowners are one of the most exciting and fastest growing business today. So the idea is that the market's changing. We've been in a market to where you put a house on the market, you can get 5 offers on it instantaneously or now. We are now in a mode that the real estate in itself, some are using agents, some are using off market, some are buying it through different leverage platforms. You've got all these hedge funds that bought all these properties 10 years ago that owned 50 to 80,000 properties. Imagine into a community, let's just say Orange. And one of these institutional investors said, I want to sell everything in Orange. I, as an agent, could go up to you as a homeowner, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. Did you know Blackstone's going to put 700 properties on the market in the next 2 weeks? Your competition just went through the roof on how much supply and demand. I, as an agent, could drive your personality to think, oh my gosh, if we don't list it fast and hard and be aggressive, then we're going to lose the boat because the market's going to be in a downward spiral, right? So imagine if the 4 or 5 agents started doing that and we put the fear in the community, we could drive the market based on data analytics that you didn't know because it hasn't been published. Or the opposite. We could drive the conversation to where you're going, saying, hey, did you know Amazon's moving into New York? I mean, we heard about that, right? For the $3 billion that they got. Now the fear is, oh, you better not, my property's worth so much money, right? This is what we're gonna do with it. So we can drive it based on how we talk, what we say, and how much knowledge we have. So the idea is, before we go too crazy, this is what I wanted to talk about real quickly so you have a reference point of where we're talking about. We put together what is called the data analytics for a housing ecosystem. Yes, it has the word woman, but it doesn't matter. Whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a minority, LGBT, doesn't matter. It's the fact that we do everything with a gender lens, it's okay. The impact is that it's driving you to think about your business, think about your home, think about how you leverage your worth, not only from a financial aspiration, what about your mental and physical health other than your financial health? And this is what this is going to be about today, because you all have checked the box and you want everything I listed up there practically. So I'm going to go through it as fast as I can, get that done. Welcome. Denise, you want to give some more flyers that they just walked in? Okay, so what I want to talk about is education and earning. I think this is very important. When you look at about the dynamics of buying and selling property, you're thinking, okay, well, what do I care about this? Where is it going? The reason I make it such a big deal about it is that when you're buying a home or you're selling a property and you're looking at the dynamics, you can qualify for a home based on where you're getting your assets from. Is if you went to go to school here at Chapman, let's say, do you know it's $53,000 that you're going to make if you graduate with a degree and wait to get married, versus then if you get married before the age of 20 versus $32,000? Big difference. So how you market to the people, how you want them to come in to look at your house, staging your property, putting it together. You have to know the resources to pull that off, right? So what I'm trying to do here is put your frame into not only look at what we've seen in ads, what we've seen in presentation. How many of you ever seen an ad promoted to homeownership for women? How many of you ever seen an ad that someone put on their business card that said they're an expert in selling to women?
I have seen it.
Very cool. I'd love to see a copy of that. The reason I ask is there's very few people do it. We've been talking about it for the last 10 years, trying to get more and more to get. So I'm glad that you found someone that did that. The reason is, women are graduating the highest of all here at Chapman. Number one, they're getting higher pay. They still haven't broken the barrier with all the stuff. And what I'm trying to get to is that when we go out to sell our property, when we go out to buy a property, don't make the misconception that you're going to go and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you because you're a guy and I'm not going to talk to you. The women have a mentality of mental complexity of being able to multitask. They remember, they're sharp, they're on the point because they want to drive it, okay? So I'm trying to frame everything for you. So when you go in to look at a house, buy a house, sell a house, you think of the small details. How neat are things? How arranged are things? Is it capable for women to multitask? Do you realize in Orange County we have a very high concentration of single women that are mothers? Time efficiency, how you relate to the customer. Business, homeownership, doesn't matter. Do you make it accessible to them? There was a thing on Dottie Herman today, who, as you heard, sold Douglas Elliman, or her CEO, she's still CEO, but her status is equity of $40 million. How many of you go to an open house and it's 2 to 4 Sunday every week? What happens if you work from 2 to 4 on a Sunday, right? So one of the listeners suggested today, we're going to go at 1 o'clock in the morning. What? Well, if it's vacant and I get off work at 1 and I work the great shift, right? So the concept is that we have to be flexible. We have to be dynamic. The millennials want certain things. I'm not a millennial, I'm a baby boomer. And I want to see, I want to be tangible, I want to feel it, I don't want to buy it on Amazon. I want to touch it, I want to be part of it, I want to smell it, I want to see you, I want to breathe you, I want to see your body language. So I'm going to buy differently than the other group. So the idea is that when you're staging your homes, looking to buy a home, find people, not just scouring the MLS, scouring the Zillows and the Outlook and everything else that you have access to. Is this smartphone's great to getting some research so you know someone's not pulling the wool over your eyes. But your due diligence has to be, if it's too good to be true, odds are it is. Off-market properties, you want to make sure that the person's why he's doing it, what the perspective. I have countless listings over the years that, oh, you listed for $5,000 in a lease. Oh, you have it listed for $1,500. What's the problem? Everything you want to do, whether you're a professional or a buyer or seller, you can call up any title company for free, customer service, and get anything you want. If you don't have access to it through the MLS or access to certain different platforms to get the information that you subscribe to, for free. Everything you need to do transactional is available through a title company. But if you do that, make sure you give the title company your business back, because they're offering the free customer service to you, okay? Secondly, the thing is so important is that I want to really dwell on real quick is if you look at your flyers in front of you, can I have a set so I can help go over it? Do you have any extra there? Thank you. You want to share? Yep. Is you want to make sure for security purposes that before you ever wire anything to anyone, the social impact bar, level playing field, is that before you ever wire anything, talk to anyone, converse with anyone, that you double check that the number that they gave you in mail, that you call and verify that information. The number one thing that's going on right now is everyone's stealing your money when you wire it, deposit it, transfer it. Now,
Say that again?
when you go to wire your money, or when you go to put a deposit down, make sure you know where it's going and you verify that you called them before you just do based on an email or something you got in the mail. How many of you would believe that I was a victim of 140 unsigned checks, 387 forgeries, and someone loaned me money every single month in my bank account from a bank? And they stole $550,000. That's me. It's legal. Unsigned. Think about it. We'll get back to it. Security. Make sure you do your own diligence on anything you do. Buying, selling, investing. Don't ever rely on someone else's information. It's your prerogative to make sure you understand what you have. And the resources, whether it's our trade, whether it's people you trust, you find out from the source, is it real? Okay? So, I want to talk about Women's Sanctuary just for a second. If you don't dream of the operation of having a home, how many of you have pets? I rescued 3 puppies at 8.5 weeks. My oldest one, I rescued her. She can't handle a garbage truck. She can't handle anything big. She fears it. Awful. But as soon as she crosses the threshold in her home, her body goes from to, she walks behind those 4 walls and she goes, I'm home, I'm safe, I don't have to deal with the bullying of the noise, the people, and everything outside of me. So the idea is when you stage a home and you go to buy a home, think of the infrastructure that's around you and why you're doing it. The market might be changing, but if you're buying it for peace of mind, for health of body, health of mental, then it's the right time to buy for you to buy what's going down. Don't think of it as an ROI. Don't think of it as an asset. Now, how many of you are buying for investment? How many are buying what's going on? You need to know your infrastructure. Where do you go? You go to the local county office and find out what they're building, where they're building, because it's going to be 2 to 5 years out. They're going to know that Amazon's coming there. They're going to know who's already paid and bought the lots to invest, like Lennar or whatever. I mean, who would have believed in Tustin that the Irvine Council has sold it to Tustin, and Tustin now has the largest footprint of a shopping center of an open mall that has a sound system blaring through the whole place. Oh, it'll never happen. You go there and it's packed, you can't find a parking spot anytime, right? But that was in play 3 to 4 years ahead of time. So when you're going to sell your property or buy an investment, commercial, industrial, retail, manufacturing, doesn't matter. You need to know what's going on so you can leverage that to sell and leverage it to buy, depending on what side of the fence you're on. Trust me, I'm not asking you to pay for anything. You get it all free. It's what I'm here for, give you resources, okay? So the idea is that the professional growth for women and their families, if we know that women are marrying later, staying single, having children, then we need to know how to address that and what we like and what we don't like. The #1 way to a woman's heart is what? That kitchen and that bathroom better be so hot in that house, otherwise you're flexibility, get it done. Safety is very important. I had a client that after 26 years, she got divorced. She says, that's right. I mean, this woman was making $300,000 a year. She goes, major bank executive. The light went out in the back. And I didn't have a ladder to go get a light bulb to put it up. So I'm going to install a whole new security system in the whole house. You see my point? The simplicity of the changes of what you're thinking about. Making sure you have sensor lights outside. Think about if you're a woman and all I did. And trust me, I can rebuild cars, I can build homes, I can fly, I can do all the guy things, and I don't think twice about it. But you have to relate, especially if I'm shorter. Can I stand up to get that light bulb? I was the girl that was called, my whole family, I have 2 brothers, that when the cars broke down on 405 going to LAX, hey, that's all right, go fix the car. Okay, sure, I'll go fix the clutch or replace the, whatever. So, just kind of stuff. So, the desire to own a home, build your wealth, close to family and friends. How many of you ever had to buy a house or a complex that you had multi-families that want to live right next door and buy a, quote, a compound? Play it forward to retirement. Imagine 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and you want to retire someplace. You found the dream community. Why don't you go find someone who's local and say, you know what, I'd love to live here someday. Can you keep an eye out some land or some issues that are going? Because I want to bring, my friends, my family, and we're thinking about all getting together. You plan for home ownership, plan for a retirement of where you'd like to live. You got nothing to lose because you buy as an investment. You can then plan your platform of what you want to do and have all your friends there and have it all acquainted, because they're not all going to come on the market at the same time. Unless you're like in Fontana and some of the Inland Empire, where 5 years ago they were buying entire complexes. Brand new home development, all bought out cash. Ever seen that, anyone here? Imagine having a brand new home building complex and they bought the entire complex so they could rent it out. The neighborhood was not too happy about it. So the idea is that have a property fit for pets. I have clients that wouldn't buy a house unless there was a Starbucks within 2 blocks. Now this was 10 years ago, where Starbucks wasn't on every block or multiple blocks. And I kid you not, in Irvine, in Woodbridge, at the time it was $850,000. She was buying a home if it had a Starbucks in the block. Imagine having a pet in New York City, downtown Manhattan. I got to stand 2 weeks ago, or actually 6 weeks ago, on the highest balcony in all of Manhattan now, or all of greater New York, after they rebuilt the World Trade Center. It's not open to the public. 76 floors up on a balcony. I had a huge fear of heights. Had no fear walking on this balcony because everything looked level with me, and all I had was a little glass barrier outside. But I walked inside the floor and had glass floor to ceiling. I was petrified inside, because I could see directly below me, but on a balcony I couldn't see below me. All I could see was out in the distance, and the airplanes were flying even with me or below me. And I thought, oh, it's okay, they're way over there, it's no big deal. I had no vision of depth till they were so far below me until I went to the edge. And I didn't go there, I didn't need to, because it was a 4,000 square foot deck. But you see my idea what I'm trying to get here? Changing of the guard. The balcony now is the #1 selling point in Manhattan, where no one wanted a balcony because it was too cold. Because they want a place to put
What?
pets. Billions of dollars. So think about that when you're selling a home. You might not be a pet lover. Businesses. How many businesses have pets in them? You bring your pet. Am I getting everyone's thoughts going? So anyway, the idea is to relax and love, dream, women, qualifying sacrifices. Women will sacrifice everything to buy a home now. I'm serious. Couples normally have more buying power. $99,000 for single women. Stringent lending standards make it more difficult. We were buying 17% of all the homes. I'm going through this real quick because you're not the dynamics. Single women are independent. After 50, a lot of us are single. I'm married still. After 29 years. The idea is that the stronger, the more successful we put on a strength of, of growth. We want to make sure that we can provide a playing form and play it forward to the next generation. So to do that, we want to travel. We want to be strong. We want to be in the pocket. So when you're marketing and you're dealing in business operations, how many of you know when you go and get a small business loan that only 30 years ago women could not buy a home, buy a business without a man co-signing it? Only 30 years, that's right. HR 50/50. How many of you know that you can now, it's mandated in the state of California that women have to be on corporate boards on publicly traded companies? We were part of that to get that signed on. Why is that so valuable to you? Again, how you put your dynamics. So if you want to get an off-market deal, you want to get a great development, make sure you dream here and don't dream here. If I were to tell you a couple years ago that I'd be so heavily involved in the uber rich, the ultra high net worth, the family offices, and really dwelling on changing the trajectory of where they're going, I always said, yeah, I'm working it, but to be a leader in that space, it's a reality now. So think about it. This is what I'm trying to get you all to do, no matter what aspirations you have. So your home buyers, how many do you know that in the state of California you can get up to 6 loans in the state and here and buy a home?
I didn't know that.
3 of them are grants that you never have to pay back. right?
Right, that I didn't know.
A $450,000 loan, you can get a $1,700 a month payment? Seriously? How many of you pay rent for less than $1,700 a month here in Orange County? Okay, one. Okay, well, they're not going to go there. College, you to go. But you see my point, right? Neighborhood Works is down. Well, they're not there this year. They're supposed to have a booth. There are trades out there that will have the training. They're free. They'll sign you up and get you involved and get that done. And if you need help, please email me. You have all our business cards and all our stuff, and I'll be happy to direct it to you. It's on our website. But there is organizations that actually, that's all they do, is walk you through from point A to point B. I never dreamed of owning a home in any capacity. But they counsel you for 8 months, they find you the asset, and you can buy that home. But literally, you can get up to $70,000 in certain platforms where you never have to pay the money back, or do a silent second, you never have to pay it to sell the property. But the idea is to get you into the home. Even if the market's trending down or trending up, number one source, this is whether you're buying commercial or buying residential. Can you afford the payment? Do not think about the price going up or down. Can you afford the price of the payment? And is it going to make you feel good? Mental health is everything over anything. You can will yourself to live, and you can will yourself to get today to go from day to day. Everyone has a story. My son, who graduated from Chapman here in May with a double degree in finance and accounting, 6 years ago had acute leukemia. He was given 2.5 months to live. What I didn't tell you was 5 days before that, my husband, who just walked out, bless you, lost 70% of his blood and was dying in ICU. Then on top of that, the $550,000 I told you about the bank stole from me happened the same week. And I'm still here, they're both still alive.
Amen.
Thank you. And the son who had acute leukemia is going here right now at Chapman for his master's in finance and just got hired by Deloitte. Thank you. So the point is, we all have a story. We all have issues. You've got to get up, and he'll say one thing, and I want to repeat this to you. Any day you can smile is a day worth living.
Amen.
The core of our life revolves around the mental health, and we can succeed in anything we put our mind to it. Because there are going to be ebbs and flows, there are going to be disruptors on how our business goes. Okay? So when I talk about sanctuary, when I talk about where you're going and what it looks like, the proximity, when I just spoke to you about the idea of Starbucks, everyone's buying things online. Single mothers want a larger home to raise their children. We talked about that. Men too. 5 million single women to 200,000 single men that are fathers that are raising their children. Okay, they're stay-at-home dads and moms. They want it to be safe, supportive. So when you go in to buy or sell a property, business or residential, you want to make sure what that infrastructure is. Don't focus on the asset. Focus on what's around and what's coming up. That is where everyone makes all their money. Want a home that makes their lives easier in all aspects, a place to mentally unwind and have their own freedom or sanctuary. Working mothers, like a single woman, have limited time. How many you know that got karate, got baseball, got football, got dancing lessons, got swimming lessons, got to go to math tutoring class, got blah, 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 blah. Can I get sick? Moms get sick when we're birthdays, because that's the time we actually get to take a day off and go, okay, I'm gonna stay in bed, y'all can do whatever you want, this is my time, right? So it's very important. Treat that to everyone. Man or woman, does not matter. So, homeowner buy, obviously, joint decision if you have, maintenance upkeep, single family, when fixing home improvements are easy to complete, could be a family project. My quality time. Every year the kids know what to get me for my birthday present. We get to go out in my yard until midnight and work in my yard to plant. Plants are beautiful. They don't talk back. They listen. And it's a place where I buried my father and mother. I have a plant for each one of them when they died. So it's a place where I get to spiritually go and say, This is cool, but it's beautiful. And I have only a 5,000 square foot lot, very small in Woodbridge and Irvine. But the point is that everyone has a different aspiration to what that looks like, right? So the regulations, the Federal House Authority we were talking about real quick, the government. The states with the most programs in California, 380 programs are here in the state of California for you to get government assistance. How many of you know more than 2 that are in the profession? How many of you know there's more than 5? Obviously, we're not going. CalVet, FHA, I could go down the list. Those are all obviously that are government assistance. But the point is that there are local municipalities. How many of you heard of, I want to open a business in a city and they're going to pay you to move there? Why would they give it to Amazon and not to you? Do you have a service that I need? Are you opening a business that's going to employ more people there? Why aren't you going down to the council and asking them for assistance to move there and bring your business and support you and waive some of the fees and taxes? Just like we used to ask for a credit card. Why are you paying the ridiculous 26%? Why don't you go and ask for 8? I'm a great client. I have a great credit. I pay my bills on time. I'm not going to pay you ridiculous fees. You better lower it. Ask. Number one thing is ask and listen. Gender equality, diversity, inclusion, anything that has to do with the dynamics of social impact. Listen, listen, listen. Leverage information. Ask, ask, ask. You can never ask too many questions. Sorry, there's some people have. So anyway, so you see all the different programs that are out there, okay? This is just a ton. On our website, we offer a lot of that. You can go peruse it. It's free. Have fun. Mortgage credit certificates. First-time buyers who meet income eligibility requirements can receive tax credits. Those are pretty limited here in Orange County, just to be honest, because you have to make less than $70,000, and there's not a whole lot of product that's in Orange County that qualifies. But there are some in Inland Empire and LA and North San Diego. They have IDAs, Lincoln, find your demographics for loans. If you're a business owner, the SBA is like the FHA where they insure the loan, but the SBA will do everything in their power to find you a lender to help you get the loan. So if you're opening up a business or you need access to capital, how many of you know that you can get a business loan as low as $5,000? It's called a micro loan and goes up to $5 million. It's a pretty good spread. Some banks specialize that in the business world and some don't. There's only one bank that actually offers a women-owned business loan. That's Union Bank. They're only here on the West Coast. A lot of your bigger banks offer business loans, but they're very rigid because they don't make a ton of money unless you're doing high dollar value. So you go to the SBA. They're free. They're counselors, and you find one who you like, and you say, or you get along with, and you think has a great personality interaction with you, because remember it's personal relationships, everything, and say who's the best person that can help me with my kind of loan, and where I can get that. And if they say no, they'll teach you what to do and how to do it to get it better and get it taken care of. Where the FHA or the VA doesn't do that. They have counselors. How many of you own a business and you want to do it out of your home? They will help you with your business plan. They'll help you what you're doing wrong for free. How do I leverage my business in my home? How many of you want to start a nonprofit and give back to your community? Okay? I went to SCORE class for $60 and set up a nonprofit with no rejections and up and running today. We have a foundation nonprofit for NRB. This is what this is doing right now for the training. It's usually I'm paid to speak. Do you see the impact of what we got going here?
So what did you say about the places that you can go to get that kind of counseling?
It's the SBA.gov, Small Business Administration. There's also the Women Business Centers. You don't have to be a woman to go. You can also go to Small Business Development Center. And you also can go to SCORE. All 4 of those are free. They're all affiliated with the SBA.
What was the second one you said?
Small business, oh, the Women Business Center. Again, you do not have to be a woman or a women-owned business to go. And remember, a women-owned business can have men too. It's just the ownership of the company. So let's everyone take out the SBA's flyer that you have for the natural disaster. I want you all, besides the, what are we on, 8th or 9th, that golden nugget I've given you, I want you to look at that flyer.
Which one is it?
The SBA. How many of you know someone who's been affected by the fire, floods, mudslides, anywhere in the United States, including Puerto Rico? Raise your hand. I would think every one of us would know someone who's been impacted through our families and friends. What do you think when you see the symbols SBA?
Small business.
And would you talk to them anything else about small businesses? Okay, let me put a complete number one myth out there. The Small Business Administration is the administrator of all natural disasters.
Oh, wow.
So if you're a renter, they will give you $40,000 for a computer, a car, a phone, anything, if you've been a victim of a natural disaster.
Say that again?
$40,000, it's on your flyer, and I stole it from you. $40,000 if you've been a victim of a natural disaster, including the Virgin Islands. If you're a homeowner, thank you. If you're a homeowner, they will give you $200,000. But the problem is that as soon as you see the SBA signal, the symbol, you think, not me. I got a phone call 18 months ago from the National Women Business Council, who's the advisor to President Congress and SBA. And she says, Desiree, I've only got 10,000 people who have registered, and I've only given out $410 million. I'm sitting here at Hurricane Irma, and I can't get people to register. I said, let me get this straight. No processing fee, no application fee, no payment for a year, at 1.75% interest, and you can't get anyone to sign up for it? That's free money!
Yeah.
$200,000, and I can use it for rebuilding my home. I can go buy a car. Are you guys crazy? But as soon as so I said, oh my God, everyone drop everything. We're calling, we're doing, we're media publication, we're going crazy. As soon as they saw the symbol SBA, no one went past it. Even after 10 conversations, reminding them. We removed everything that had SBA on it. We went through a couple different websites to filter it and said, if you do not click away when you see the SBA symbol because you don't have to be a business owner to get this. Crazy, right? And if you're a business owner, you get $2 million. It's now been raised to 2%, I'm sorry, still too high. You do have to qualify for it. You do have to apply, which is only fair. It's not a grant, it's not to be forgiven. But the cool thing is, or the bad thing is, I should say, the caveat is you only get 60 days to apply for it. So once the natural disaster has been declared, they only give you 60 days to register for it. So time efficiency is everything. Now they have extended some of them, but it takes an act to get that extended, and they'll publish it. So you're going to go to sba.gov natural disaster. You have a whole flyer on it. But there's one thing I can help you with today, is that everywhere you go and everyone you know, please, for me and for the Court of Social Impact, you tell everyone you know about the SBA's program for natural disasters. They're going to get more and more. We had $306 billion in 2017. The numbers haven't come out yet, but it'll be over $1 trillion in 2018. In 2017, they had over 16 natural disasters that were over $1 billion. And when you've lost everything and you have no flood insurance, you don't have earthquake insurance, you don't have fire insurance to the level that these people have, it's serious, especially the cost of insurance here in the state of California. So my core is that please get the word out. Now, even though most of the disasters have expired the date to apply, some have not. So if you go to the SBA.gov under disasters, it'll give you the time frames and the dates, and they have special programs. Imagine in Ventura County with the fires they had. Do you know you can build a house without a permit? Like really? An entire house, fully approved by the county without a permit. How many are in the construction business in here? Place to go. 5 times the going rate. Not just Ventura County, but across the nation. Any place there's been a natural disaster like Houston, Puerto Rico, I could go up. They're paying big time. We can't find enough contractors to help the people that they need to help them service. Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
We got y'all, yes, motivated, okay? And as my monitor keeps flying out, I have no idea. So when you have obstacles of women making less, guess what? The women are finding these secrets on how to get into the core and educate and get it out there. That's where my passion is right now, making this work. So we talked about salaries. Women default houses owned by singing, there's 10% less. Well, obviously if you buy a product that's less than what the going rate of a guy is, it's gonna appreciate less because the varios goes across the board, right? So it's pretty simple math. Student loans, there's some, guess what, get this, $1.3 trillion of debt in student. And women have 2/3 of it. Uncool. That's why, unfortunately, I'm here to tell you, 37% of all, there's 37% more women, millennials, living on the poverty line than any generation before them. Let me repeat that. 37% more women, millennials, are living under the poverty line in the United States than any generation before them. How is that? We're graduating with higher degrees,
Student loans.
partly. We're delaying marriage. We're taking on jobs that we care about, we have passion about, not how much they pay us.
Okay.
So you offset student loan. I mean, Chapman University is a perfect example. Do you know they have one of only three universities in the whole United States that offers peace study programs? You can get a degree in peace studies.
What?
Peace studies. Peace, B-E-A-C-E. Peace studies. In a time like right today, I think it's a great subject to be involved in. But this is what we're looking at. And do you know that Chapman has every single state, I think it's 75 different countries represented in the freshman year, incoming class this year. And every year it keeps going up with more countries coming in. It's pretty diverse. So, talking about the GOSA, okay? Keeping on time. Oh my God, we're almost over. We gotta get out of here. We gotta keep going. Okay, we don't care about that. Big cities, where to buy houses. Get this. Kansas City, Ohio, Missouri, Texas. Different stats for median income for females. Okay, you can apply it to men, whatever. Flipping homes. So, even though this is gender specific at this moment, the idea is that we have made so much money in buying and selling and acquiring properties, whether you're buying for a trustee sale, whether you're buying for off market, whether you're buying and taking a note against them, whether you do blanket loans, where you buy to sell and be creative, and all the different platforms. It could be commercial. There's a new startup company that just came out with fractional ownership. Meaning, remember the what do you call it? Time sharing?
Yeah.
Imagine about full sharing. Full sharing means that you buy a whole complex, let's say it's $10 million, you have 50 doors, and every door will have an ownership in the entire makeup of the entire building. They don't own their individual unit like you would do in a co-op or in a conversion of a building to it and go through all the mess of that. But you own the whole building. If you have 80 doors, 80%, 1/80th of the building, And that way you get to maintain it, you have the amenities, the infrastructure, the experience, especially in Manhattan, LA, San Francisco. What an idea. Then you shall sell your ownership in that building, not the physical unit, but the idea is that way you can leverage it when you can't afford. If you're paying $3,000 to $5,000 for rent as it is, or $1,200 or $1,500, whatever that number is, you can start leveraging immediate platform. So I was just talking to a lady who has that's in the manual set, and she's using AI to develop the startup company in it. A lot of different ways. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to open, here's natural disasters. Imagine this. I could go on and on. The programs that are out there. The natural disaster, we talked about that real quick, has a 60-day deadline. So make sure you check your website when they're accepting applications. Approved 27,000 disaster loans for a total of $1.7 billion, $1.3 billion for home disaster loans, and $296 for business loans. Had 84,000 loan applications and 10,000 businesses, making a total of 95,000 processed. Real numbers, real data. Okay. Low interest gets it done, 40,000 repair, 200,000 like we talked about real quick. Pretty bad story, right? All this. So if you go to our website, under the top right, you can see anything you want to talk about. Redlining, how it affects you, where to get business loans, how to develop, what's the economic trends, where we're going. It's all on our website. So if you literally go on the, not the icon that shows the top where you want to look as far as buying things, but underneath the magazine in the right column, you can have a search bar. It'll tell you whatever you want. Social impact, natural disasters, elder financial abuse. If you want to get into the, we're all talking about millennials. Why are we talking about older people? I own a fair amount of houses. We can all work on millennials buying, but what about me? If you got to know me, how many assets do I want to sell and convert and downsize? And my exit strategy would sell my businesses. And I want to work till I die? I'm not going to retire. I'm a driven workaholic. Okay, fine, whatever. I can go home and have my little girls, my little puppies. I have 4 boys. Yeah, you got it. My point is that we are not focusing on the aging population. We're not focused on the fact that Alzheimer's and dementia is a very serious effect. I am the advisor to Attendees Brain. A brand new software platform is coming out for AI to make sure that your quality of life, your aura, is that you can smile every day and have a moment. Because 90% of all the elder abuse is from a family member. $36.5 billion in the United States is stolen from our own family. And only 1 out of 44 cases are reported. I am intelligent, but if I were to get Alzheimer's or fall and hit my head, how can you take advantage of me immediately? From a guardian, from a family member or something, right? We need to dress as we get older and realize that we're still alive. So, what happened? Tell me. My youngest son said, "Where's Dad?" Sorry. So the other thing is, if you're an investor, how many of you guys have heard of the opportunity zones?
Heard of what?
Opportunity zones, tax reform, capital gains, deferred after 10 years. If you put your business in an opportunity zone, sorry, don't turn my volume. I have a brand new phone and haven't figured out all the bells and whistles of it. So anyway, the point is that these are all things we talk about. Spoke in New York. We are very knowledgeable about that. Any questions? I want to open up because we're out of time. I covered a lot. Anything I didn't answer that you came here for specifically that I can address right now? Please don't tell me you're sleeping. Yes, so what it is opportunity zones is that there's 8,700 different communities across the United States. that the U.S. Treasury has allocated that after you have the property, after you have a business in there, through a qualified fund into an opportunity zone, that you don't pay capital gains after the 10 years. So all your ultra high net worth family offices are all over this like a hot potato. The issue is that if you operate a business in an opportunity zone, you also get the tax benefits too. So and if you're an investor and you want to buy a property, think about this dynamic. How many of you heard about the Walmart scandal a couple years ago, where they went into the rural communities and decimated it?
Yes.
So if you go into a rural community and you have about 10, 20,000 people live there, and everyone has a small business, keeps it sustainable. Walmart comes in there, it doesn't matter who, comes in there and takes all the small businesses out, everyone works for the Walmart. Walmart says it's non-profitable, after 3 years I'm out of here, pulls out. The city died, literally died. Houses were worthless, they lost everything. Not only their jobs, their health, mental, physical, financial health, and their properties gone. Had to pick up and leave, okay? In an opportunity zone, there's gonna be areas that are rural. There's gonna be areas there's gonna be, look at New York, okay, look at LA. I mean, forget those competition-wise. But the idea is that if you have hospitality, guess what? You can take the local that maybe not be highly educated or didn't have access to going to school, didn't have things available to them, you can train them and start them up from the ground up as cleaners, as busboys and janitors. And you can scale them and give them education if they have the opportunity to do it. You have strip malls people going there. You have commercial, industrial, and manufacturing. You have people building affordable housing. You get each of the components put together, and you have created a whole new community. And all the taxes that go with it after 10 years, you don't have to pay in capital gains.
Where do you access the list of zones?
If you go, just Google opportunity zones, and for each state, they list them, and it's an interactive website. And you can pull up all the articles so you become an expert on it, like real quick, under our website. So you go interview.com, like I said, at the bottom on the right-hand side, put the search engine in, and you can go pull up phenomenal articles, okay? You're welcome. And opportunity zones was not on the thing. But it is a highest class of investors. When you got people like Silverstein Properties that owns World Trade Center and other people that are jumping all those and bringing their capital that they have invested in hundreds of projects around numerous countries around the world, and saying it's time to not defer projects here in the United States, to reevaluate that. But remember, and bring it back to the United States, remember the number one thing is, it doesn't matter where it's located as long as it's the right deal. You got people raising funds all day long, and they don't have deals, they're just collecting your money. And you can be a $50,000 investor and still get into them through a qualified fund and be partial. But if the people don't know what they're doing and they're trying to buy 15 properties and put it all in there, where do you fit in there? What does the accounting look like? It gets really complex. So buy a fund, get into a fund that only is buying one project, so they keep it clean and simple, because the complexity is really huge. What we do is we do government legislative work. We submit questions and answers to all the questions they want out there, give them our feedback so we can drive the legislative, like the Department of Labor, all those rules and regulations, we're part of those conversations to make sure that you're sustainable and that what really makes sense for the employee standpoint, the SBA standpoint, and the $6 trillion of homeownership. Our information that we submitted 3 years ago is in effect in the 2018 strategic plan. It's nawrb.com or org. Again, that's N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, W for women, R for Robert, B for boy.com. Every single thing that's on there is relatable to men too, to diversity, to minority, to classification. The idea is that our resources are here for you to help you be sustainable.